everybody, welcome to A Hot Take with Tony D and Little Joan. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books, Wokistan, a Novel, and of course, The Pineys, books 1, 2, 3, and 4, available in trade paperback, ebook, and Kindle Unlimited. It's free if you join Kindle Unlimited, and that's all on Amazon.com. Audiobooks coming soon. Now, today's video, another update on the Antifa mess that's in Portland. And there's so many things going on with that, I don't even know where to begin. First off, last night there was a naked protester, an Antifa girl with an unkempt bush, decided to strip off all her clothes, save the mask, and confront some cops who were shooting pepper spray. And then an Antifa guy got up there and blocked her with a shield so she wouldn't get hit by pepper balls that they shoot. It was a ridiculous scene. And she kept, posing. It was peak intersectional feminism, I called it. It was just weird. I mean, I don't know what this does for Black lives or police brutality. All it did was, it's just yet another weird thing that the Antifa members of the extreme left have done in order to, I don't know, try to mess with people. Then there was more rioting. They lit a fire near a police union hall, and then that distraction allowed them to bust into the union hall and light a fire in there. Meanwhile, you've got Mayor Ted Wheeler, mayor of Portland, saying that he wants the federales out of his town because they're doing so much damage. And there's all these media pundits, blue check marks, and mostly Marxist, armchair Marxist, who live in media circles, who are they defend Antifa all day long. These are the same people that said Antifa doesn't exist. Now they say, well, Antifa is not causing the violence. It's really right-wing groups who are sneaking in there and causing the violence. They just don't want to acknowledge reality because they support all this. They support tearing down the state because they think it's going to be so much better. Look at Minneapolis, right? Oh yeah, things are going great there. They defunded the cops already, and already they started to charge taxpayers for the private security of the people who run Minneapolis. So won't that be a great thing for people who live there? The real estate market is collapsing. People are fleeing in droves. Yeah, they're turning it into a hippie commune. There'll probably be about 20 people left when all is said and done. I think even the drug dealers will probably leave Minneapolis. There won't be any money there. They're trying to do the same thing to Portland. And the question is Trump sending in secret Gestapo to hurt these people? No. He sent in federal agents to protect the federal courthouse. And no one's quite sure. I've heard that they're Border Patrol, DHS, and possibly FBI, or all three. It'd probably be all three. You've got to protect federal property if you're going to have it. Now, as a libertarian, I would say get rid of all public property. The Fed shouldn't own any property, really. But we pay for that courthouse that they're wrecking in Portland, by the way. Our tax dollars will have to rebuild it. And they're burning it, they're graffitiing it, they're throwing barricades up against it, and they're trying to burn it down with people inside. So, part of their tactics, and Tim Pool has outlined this, and he's interviewed these people, it's to walk right up to the edge and try to taunt an over-response. So they're trying to do everything they can. Now, I don't know why these people aren't being arrested for the petty crimes they're committing. I guess it's because the Portland court system is just letting them go, and people refuse to prosecute them if they get in front of a jury. We really need to get these guys on federal crimes, which they are to some extent. I think eventually all these people are going to be just scooped up. It's going to be, it's very much like the protesters in the 60s, right? So you had these protesters who got worse and worse and worse. Some of them committed murders and bank robberies. And then eventually everything kind of died down. A lot of them just disappeared. And then 25 years later, they're found somewhere out in Arizona, living out in the middle of the desert. And I don't know, they used a credit card and set off all these bells and whistles, and somebody recognized them, and boom, they ended up back in jail. That's what some of these people are going to end up. I mean, some of the charges there that are being charged are pretty serious. You know, felonies and felony arson, felony riot, assaulting a police officer. You know, a lot of them they'll probably just let go. But man, if anybody's killed, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. But in the short term, I mean, these people aren't going anywhere. And you know, once you get in front of a federal jury, a federal judge, I don't think you're going to be cut loose like you were in Portland. And I think Ted Wheeler is going to face a political reckoning the next time he's up for re-election. I kind of think there's got to be a large portion of Portland who's just looking at this and saying, ooh, this is not good. Those that haven't moved out of the city. And again, there are these media mavens who are showing different parts of Portland, like, oh, this is nice and pristine. What are these people talking about? And even the New York Times, of course, who's very, very Marxist, they showed a picture of when they did their article on Trump's secret police. They showed a picture of the protesters. These were protesters, I guess. They were probably Antifa, because they're almost all Antifa in Portland. But they were all wearing street clothes. They had masks on. They're raising their fist up in solidarity. They weren't showing any of the black bloc guys. You know, there was one video of a guy, I guess he had a hammer or an axe, and he's just pounding away at the wooden barricades at part of the courthouse, just trying to smash his way in, I guess. They're trying to taunt the police to come out and I guess to respond to them. I don't know why it's legal or okay for these guys to throw things at the cops. Seems to me that they should be arrested for that, but I guess because they're all masked up and in a crowd, it's a lot harder to pinpoint them. But again, I would say to the Antifa guys, they're going to get you. I mean, what they're working on is all the, you know, computer stuff, and they'll get you on that. I mean, there's really not a safe place on the internet for you to talk about this stuff. There's a new blockchain chat that Sticks and Hammer was talking about today that may be almost impossible to decrypt or whatever. But, I mean, this is the federal government. They have access to everything under the auspices of national security. Now, maybe your local cops didn't, although a lot of them do. And by the way, I'm against all this surveillance, but I'm telling you, they have it. They have it, and they're going to use it against you. Why wouldn't they? They use it against everybody. I'm sure they use it against me if they had any reason to worry about me. I'm sure they listen to me. I mean, this is basic information. How have you people not known this? So anything you've said and do on the internet, and you've all done a lot of it, it's all going to come back to bite you in the ass. You know, when they finally get you in front of a jury that's not full of Portlanders who are like, oh, I'm in Antifa too, they're going to start showing your tweets and showing your Facebook posts and showing that you're clearly in Antifa. And Antifa does not have a good rep, right? I mean, these videos are going far and wide. Yes, you know, in the general media, for the people who read the New York Times, watch the national news, and still read, you know, old-style publications, sure, maybe those guys aren't clued in. But were those guys ever clued in to anything other than what the mainstream tells them? We're talking about anybody who has a phone who does a search for Antifa. And as much as Google and YouTube try to hide it, it's still there. You know, I'm doing videos, and every time I mention Antifa in a video, I get my ads limited. I will have my ads limited on this video. Even though I get more hits for talking about Antifa, I don't know, the algorithm, I guess it is, says that, well, you know, my The ads may not all be suitable, even though I'm not cursing and I'm talking about something that's actually happening. Like, why is Antifa considered a bad word, YouTube? Why are you demoting me in the algorithms over Antifa? I thought you were big supporters of Antifa. I mean, seems to me you would promote them and promote any videos that talk about them. But again, you're very censorious and you like to go after people. So it doesn't surprise me that those are the videos of mine that get flagged. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's YouTube. They're a private company, says the communist on Reddit and Twitter all day. Yeah, they agree with the private companies when they agree with them. But when you try to say, hey, you know, the private company doesn't want to do certain things, then they get all bent out of shape. Anyhow, to wrap it up with Antifa, things are still crazy in Portland. If you're in Portland, leave. If you're going to Portland, don't go. I wouldn't touch Portland with a 10-foot pole now. Same thing with Seattle, although Seattle seems to have died down somewhat. But just in general, in the Northeast, this is all the big show for Antifa. In the rest of the country, they're not as strong. Maybe in the New York area, maybe in the Chicago area, even in Philly, there's a few guys. But it's not like Portland, because the mayor there, you know, he's allowed this to happen. He's also the chief of police. I'm not sure if you knew that. Because he's the chief of police, he also has control of the police. And now there are even more left-leaning city council people who are demanding that Wheeler give up his power over the cops to them. So God forbid, so they could do God knows what with the cops. I mean, the cops must be going crazy there. Now that they busted into their union hall, oh, you guys crossed the line. I mean, that's definitely something they're going to want to pressure the mayor. And they should pressure the mayor. I mean, you guys got a union in New Jersey. I mean, the unions here, they're powerful. You should use your power. You got to use it or lose it. And I'll rail all day against unions, especially government ones. But, you know, in this case, either they're going to do it or they're going to be gone. They'll get rid of your union. They'll get rid of you. And they'll be left with a handful of, I don't know, social justice warriors who will show up to counsel people who may be the victims of crime, I guess, until one of them's shot and they realize, oh no, we should have actually sent armed people to the scenes of crimes. I can't wait for that to happen. And it'll probably happen in Portland, and businesses will continue to leave there and the whole city will collapse. I guess this is just the peak Democrat version of what Democrats are, right? I mean, this is what they want. They don't want a balance. They want total anarchy, I guess. I mean, where are the normal Democrats to speak out about this? Where are they? Why isn't Mayor Kennedy in Philadelphia saying, God, this is too much? Get your S together, Wheeler. Why aren't you criticizing de Blasio, who's up north, he's got 27 cops guarding the Black Lives Matter street. And more about that in the next video.